Vakratunta Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Namaste everyone. In this session we are going to review the Nama Indragopa Parikshipta Smara Tunaabha Janghika. The entire Nama is one full Nama and must be pronounced in full. Now we are reviewing the Shakti Kootam in Sri Lalita Sahasranamam, the namas that are in the Shakti Kootam. That is Shakti Kootaika Tapanna Katyatopaka Dharini, which means from Kati, all the parts that are below, from the hip, below the region from the hip. So we reviewed the thighs, then we reviewed the two knees, which was like Manika Makutam. And then in this Nama, we are going to review the Jangama part, the of the Devi. So let's look at the Nama Indragopa Parikshipta Smara Tunaabha Janghika. The components in this Nama are Indragopa. Indragopa means they are like little insects that come after rainy season. They are also called as Tambalapuchi and they are red velvet in color. They are called as Indragopa. Parikshipta means as if it's like surrounded with that. Like all you can see is like a blob of red color, right? So the Indragopa is surrounding somewhere. Where is it surrounding? In Smara. Smara means Manmatha's Tuna Aba. Tuna Aba means an arrow pouch. Aba means it's shining. It is shining because of this Indragopas being surrounded there. And what is this part? It is the part of the Janghamam, Janghika. Janghamam is this part of the Devi. So Janghamam is the calf region right here, and it's shining like red color Indragopa, and it appears to be in the shape of an arrow pouch of Manmatha, says this Nama. Now, Janghika, Jangamam is essentially the region that is below the knees and above the padam. This part of the leg is called as Jangama region. Jangama essentially is the calf muscle area of the leg. It is the part of the leg that helps in movement. So it helps to propel. If you have to run, we just use this part, like we give the pressure here, and it helps so much to propel, right? That part of the leg that helps us to run faster. So the worship of this part of Sri Lalitambika's Angam makes Devi to come faster to rescue us, is the Tatparyam of this Jangama region. In Saundarya Lahari, Acharya gives a very beautiful description of this Jangama region. And the sloka is recited as follows. Parajetum rudram dviguna sharagarbhau girisute nishangau janghete vishama vishiko bhadamakrita yadagre drishyante दशशरफलापादयुगली नकाग्रजद्मानः सुरमकुटशाणैक निशिताः. So in this shloka, Acharya conveys several concepts. We will review those concepts that are related to our Nama here. In the shloka, Acharya says that Devi's Jangama, the Jangama part, are the arrow quivers of Manmatha. It's a place to keep the arrows. That's an arrow quiver, and a pouch or a container that contains the arrows. Manmatha's arrows quiver. So if you see, Vasinyadi Vak Devatas exactly convey the same concept. Vasinyadi Vak Devatas says, Smara Tunaabha Janghika. Smara is Manmatha. Manmatha's Tuna Aba. Tuna Aba is this Ambarathuni here. That is the Janghamam. That is the Jangama portion. So both Acharya and Vasinyadi Vak Devatas brings us the darshan of this Jangama part of the leg and equates them to Manmatha's arrow quiver. Smara refers to Manmatha. Smara Tunaabha. Smara Tunaabha Janghika. Smara Tunaabha means he has a pouch that he is using to hold arrows, an arrow quiver. An arrow quiver looks like this. So Lalitambika's Jangama region also looks like Smara's, Manmatha's arrow pouch, says this Nama. So, how is an arrow pouch? It has a mouth that is wide. Like that, Ambal's feet is also little wide up at the top. And then the arrow pouch tapers little bit to the down, and this part is a little smaller. Same way, Ambal's leg tapers down and it is little less wider than how it is in the top. So the Nama says Ambal's Jangama region looks like Smara Tunaabha Janghika, Smara's Manmatha's pouch. And Acharya uses a very beautiful term here, saying it is like a Shara Garbhav. Sharam means arrow, like Banam, Sharam. Garbhav, Garbha means that which holds. So that which holds the arrows is the Shara Garbham. So a very special thing that holds the arrows. And Ambal's Jangama region looks very specially like this arrow pouch. Generally, arrows are held at the back of the shoulder. If you recollect the darshan of Sri Rama, he has an arrow quiver at the back, and the arrow has two parts. There is a soft portion here, and there is a sharp portion here. The arrows are placed into the pouch in such a way that the sharp portion is completely inside, hidden, and then the top portion is only having the soft, the non-sharp side is only up at the top. So like that, Manmatha also has an arrow quiver, but we have said that is like the Jangama region of Sri Lalitambika, right? If you see the leg, the Jangama region looks like the arrow pouch, yes, but where is this sharp portion? If this were the arrow pouch, then there must be arrows, and that arrow must have sharp portion, right? Where is that? For that, Acharya says the sharp portion of the arrows are really Devi's nails. The 5 nails that come are the 5 sharp portion of the arrows that are in Manmatha's quiver. Now, why would Manmatha need an arrow pouch? Why is he holding a arrow pouch? For that, Acharya describes Parajetum Rudram. Parajetum means for Parajayam, for victory over Rudra, for Jayam over Rudra. Who's Rudra? Rudra is Lord Shiva. Not just any form of Shiva here. Here says Rudra means angry Ishvara. Why Acharya is using the term Rudra here? Because that angry Ishvara burnt Manmatha to ashes with his third eye. So, so Manmatha has this feeling, oh, it's Shiva, that is Rudra, that made me into ashes. Now I have to take revenge on him. So that is the reason why Manmatha wants to use his arrows and he wants to do the Kamabanam on Lord Shiva so that he would move. So that is the reason for him wanting to hold this arrow pouch. So Acharya says, Parajetum with Rudram, for Parajayam, for Jayam over Rudra. Manmatha wants this arrow. But winning to please Lord Shiva, who is always in tapas mode, is not an easy task at all. It is not an easy task for anyone. So Manmatha is thinking, okay, I have 5 banams. How many banas Manmatha has? 5 flower arrows. It's called Panchabana. He tried with the Panchabana once to tempt the Lord, and then what happened? Lord opened his eyes and he became ashes, right? So he says, it's not an easy task. If Manmatha himself cannot please Parameshwara, then who else can please Parameshwara? There is only one person that can, one um, Devi that can please Parameshwara. So what Manmatha does is he goes to Ambal and he goes to Lalitambika and says, I want to win over Parameshwara. Ma, you have to help me. You are the one that has to help me. So Manmatha takes refuge in Sri Lalitambika and pleads for her help in this task. So Devi, being the Karuna Murti, she actually helps Manmatha by letting him double his arrow. So Acharya says Dviguna Sharagarbho. Dvi means twice, right? Two. So Manmatha had Panchabanas, which is five. Now Devi is going to help him double his arrows. Right? How will he double his arrows? Usually Manmatha has Panchabanas, five arrows, but Devi has two Jankamas. One in this leg, one is the other leg. So one leg can hold five arrows. Now Devi has two legs, so two Jangama regions. So each leg has five sharp arrows, five sharp nails, right, in her toes. So here five arrows, here five arrows. So five plus five. Now Manmatha has 10 arrows in the in each of these calf muscle region. So these are the calf muscle regions. The two Jangama portion are the arrow quivers of Manmatha. So that is why the our nama says Smara Tunaabha Janghika. Now, an archer will usually only carry one quiver with his arrows in the back. So recollect Sri Rama's darshan. Anytime an arrow is needed, it is common to take the hand, go to the back of the shoulder, and select an arrow and bring it into the front and then place it in the bow. And that's how the arrow is used. Now, this is all done with just one arrow. One quiver, one arrow pouch, one sharagarbam on the back. Now, with Ambal's grace, with the humongous task of having to please Parameshwara, Manmatha now has two arrow quivers, one on this leg with five arrows and one on this leg with five arrows. So, what Manmatha does is he's hiding in the Jangama Pradesham of the goddess, waiting for Parameshwara to come, waiting to do Kamabana Prayogam on Parameshwara himself. If Manmatha wins in this attempt, it means that the Soundaryam of Sri Lalitambika's Jangama region is beyond the description, that it even melts Lord Parameshwara. Right? So that is the idea behind this Smara Tunaabha Janghika. Now there is a portion before that which is Indragopa Parikshipta. It means that this Jangama region is red in color with Indragopa Parikshiptam. What is this Indragopa Parikshiptam? Let's try to understand that as a little bit more. For this, we have to take the help of Srimad Ramayana. In Srimad Ramayana, in the Kishkinda Kanda, there are so many very beautiful descriptions about landscapes and seasons. So, in the Kishkinda Kanda, Sri Rama is describing the beauty of the mountains just after the rainy season. He is describing in great detail. In one of the shlokas here, he makes the reference to the Indragopa, which is what our Nama also has. So Srimad Ramayana has this shloka where Sri Rama says, Shuka Prabhena. Shuka Prabhem. Shuka means parrot. Prabha means color, if you can mean. So parrot's color, Shuka's color. Shuka Prabhena means parrot's color. Parrot's color is green. The mountain after the rain is looking beautifully green like the Shuka Prabha. That's the first aspect conveyed. Then he says, Bhumi Nava Shadvalena. Nava Shadvalena means the Bhumi. Nava means new here. The Bhumi is looking new. It's looking very beautiful with new tender green grass. So that's the description first. Okay. So this is how it is after the rainy season. We can see that there are tender green, small tender grass coming out. And then how does it look? It looks Nari Iva. Nari means a woman. It looks like it's like a woman wearing a green sari. Well, and then he goes on to say, Laksha Ukshita Kambalena. Kambali means like a shawl. So this shawl, this green shawl has Laksharasam. Laksharasam means some red in color. So it has red embroidery work over it. So Sri Rama describes that the mountain looks very green But in that green, there is it looks like a shawl or a sari of a woman, right? Nari Iva. It looks like a woman is wearing a green color sari. And in this sari, there is Laksha. Laksha means red color embroidery work. Hmm. And he says, Antara Chitritena. It looks like a chitram. It looks like an artwork. The beauty of the scene is looking like an artwork. And where did this shawl or sari become red? How did it become red? Where did it get that redness from? It comes from Indragopa. And how is that Indragopa? Bala Indragopa. Very small. Small velvet like red colored Indragopa insects. So after the rain, the entire mountain is filled with green tender grass. In that grass, you can see patches and patches of red color velvety kind of substance, right? So those are called as the Indragopa insects. These are the insects that comes just after the rain is done on the mountains. If you see, it will have a splash of red color. Okay, you can see it's like swarming red color, right? You can see patch and patch and patch. It looks like a green color sari with patches of embroidery red work. That's what Sri Rama is explaining in this shloka here, describing the beauty of this mountain. That patch is called as Parikshipta. Indragopa is this red color velvet-like insects that come on the bhumi after a very pleasant rain. Okay, that is Indragopa insects. Parikshipta means you can see that it appears as if like it's swarming the bhumi. It's like it's surrounding, right? It's like a patchwork, right? It's like an embroidery work. It's like a patchwork on the green mountains. So that is the term that describes Parikshiptam. Indragopa Parikshiptam means a swarm of red colored insects that are surrounding that area. Okay, so that's the context here. Now, what are we talking about? Smara Tunaabha Janghika, Manmatha's arrow quiver. It is covered with Indragopa Parikshiptam. It is covered with this Indragopa insects. It's also called as Thambala Puchi. So instead of the arrow quiver being in its normal color, now since it is swarmed with this red color Indragopa, it looks very red in color. And the insects are also shining. We call as Minmini Puchi. Like this, these Puchis, these insects are also shining as if when they are surrounded. So it's not only red, it's also shining. That's why our Nama says Smara Tuna Aba. Aba means like it is shining also. So what is red in color? What is shining? What is in the form of an arrow pouch? It is all Sri Lalitambika's Janga region, because that's Smara Tunaabha is Janghika. The Jangam region looks like the arrow pouch because it's like this in this shape, and it is in the color of Indragopa insects. Now, just as Indragopa insects would swarm that region, the a very shining red color swarms, surrounds this region of the Janghamam. Hence, Sri Lalitambika's Jangama part is shining and also is in red color, and it shines like the shine of the Indragopa, um, very beautiful shining insects. So that is what is conveyed in this Nama, Indragopa Parikshipta Smara Tunaabha Janghika. As next steps with Acharya's blessings, let's review the next Nama in Sri Lalita Sahasranama. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Thank you so much, everyone.